So thank you everyone for joining us today. This is a session that is about a project that is very, very close to my heart. It's about startups in Asia and chasing the innovation frontier. I'm joined here by two wonderful speakers and I think by now very dear friends. Dr. Chan Metakan, Secretary of State at the Ministry of Industry, Science and Innovation, Technology Innovation in Cambodia, and Dr. Maliki, Deputy Minister for Community Empowerment, Population and Labor in Bappenas, Indonesia.
Thank you.
My name is Vasiliki Mavroidi. I'm an economist at the OECD Development Center. And the occasion of this session is the launch of a new report that we did, implementing our Startup for Development framework in Asia, with a focus on India, Indonesia, Thailand, and Vietnam. This is a project that follows a long line of work. We implemented this in Latin America several years ago, and we've expanded in different regions. Now, I really want to hear, and I think all of you want to hear from the speakers, so I don't want to take a very long time. I just wanted to kind of maybe briefly give you 3 big points from this report, and then we can move on to hear what are the new trends in startup ecosystems in Asia and how we can make this development of startup ecosystems more aligned with sustainability and inclusivity goals. Now, of course, Asia is the second largest startup market in the world. About 1 in 5 startups are headquartered in Asia, and about $1 in 4 USD in venture capital was invested in the region. But of course, we're talking about very, very diverse ecosystems. We have China and India that are among the largest in the world and among the oldest in Asia. We also have newcomers, including Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam. We also have least developed countries that are also emerging ecosystems, like Cambodia, that we're going to hear more about today. In Asia, we think that we can see in this report and through our studies that development has been very fast, but it has been concentrated among very few startups that have managed to reach incredible scale. So we are seeing that venture capital has increased dramatically as a share of GDP in many countries, but overall the density is not really quite at the OECD level of more advanced economies. Nevertheless, startups are contributing to innovation in Asian ecosystems. Maybe overall we see that venture capital does go to market-seeking sectors like e-commerce and fintech, but there are pockets of very strong potential, including renewables, food tech, cultural and creative industries, and so on. And maybe if I can just leave you with one challenge for the future that we have been seeing is how to make opportunities more widely available. How can we move beyond the capital cities where most of the startups and investors are concentrated, and how maybe to bring more women and other marginalized groups and youth into the startup ecosystem. I will stop here because I really, really want to hear from the speakers, and I'm sure you do too. So I would like to give the floor now to Dr. Maliki, and maybe you can tell us what Indonesia has been doing to support startup ecosystem recently, particularly when it comes to youth and new entrepreneurs. Thank you.
Can you hear me? Oh, this is clicker. Okay. Maybe before speaking about startup, let me describe a little bit about how actually our policy on the entrepreneurship itself. Yeah. So because our ministerial is like a planning agency, so we set up the medium terms as well as the long-term development planning. Okay, for now, we just starting on the medium-term development planning. And then this is like a new cabinet for us. And we have like a strategy on how we can develop the entrepreneurships as well as the startup itself. So on the entrepreneurship, we aim for improving the productivity of the SMEs itself and also entrepreneurship to create more decent jobs, because in Indonesia, the small medium enterprises actually can cover around almost like 80 to 90% of the jobs. And also, we try to generate the inclusive growth, because most of the populations and labor part is on the small medium enterprises. Therefore, we try to have like a generating inclusive growth oriented entrepreneurships, and also how we can strengthening business resilience and adaptability. Because during the pandemic COVID, the entrepreneurships, small medium enterprises become one of the basic industries that we have, and also they can provide more jobs during the periods. So therefore, there is like a few strategies that we are trying to develop for the improving the portions of the entrepreneurships in Indonesia. So we have at least we have 4 strategy. One is on digitalizations, and then more access to the financings and capacity buildings of the small medium enterprises itself, so then they can more competitive. And also how we can reform the public services, so then we can have more simple licensing and also registrations processes. So the medium terms targets of the entrepreneurships policy is how we can emphasizing on the quality productions on local specialties commodities, so then become like the largest portion of the small medium enterprises. So then we can strengthening the supply chains from the very small medium enterprises to the more larger companies. The ultimate objective is how we can actually increase the proportions of the small medium enterprises. Now is like only like 3%, and in the 2045, actually maybe within like 20 years from now, we expect that the portions of the small medium enterprises and its portions to the GDP is almost like 5%. And also the entrepreneurship ratio is from 3% to 5%. And there is one like a new strategy that we also try to develop during like these 5 years is on how we can strengthening the cooperatives. Then the cooperatives is because we perceive that cooperatives has become the main aggregators for the small medium enterprises. So this one is like the general policy on the entrepreneurships. And talking about startups, because startups are contributing to the transformations of the cultural and also creative industries in Indonesia. And Indonesia, as what you mentioned, that we are like the Asia's largest startup hubs for cultural and also creative industries. And according to the data, we only have the data from the startup links. So then we can see that several cities in Indonesia has already become like the main major players of the startups in Asia, especially Jakarta. But if you see, there is like the total scores from Jakarta to other city, there is some very big disparities. So we really need to have like more incentives on how we can actually build more startups in other cities. So Jakarta is the main hub for Indonesia's startup ecosystem, and it's ranked for 27th globally. So why is it like we have a bit slow startup developments in other cities? Because there's a few challenges that we have. One is on there's a bit complicated business licensing. Therefore, as I mentioned earlier, that we need to have like a public reforms on how we can make more simple licensing as well as the registrations. And then the limited access to funding, especially for growth stage startups or early stage entrepreneurships, and digital gaps of supporting infrastructures between Java Islands and also the non-Java Islands, or maybe like western part and the eastern part of Indonesia. So therefore, that we need to have like more equitable access to the internets. Many entrepreneurs lack managerials as well as the digital competencies. So based on these challenges, we try some of the incentives as well as programs on how we can boost the capability on the young or the youth can also develop the startups. So it is a bit, we don't have really solid one ministerials that coordinates and as well as like develop the strategy on the startups, but Ministry of Informations they have like a digital transformations to transform digital talents, so then we can just create the startup itself. So there is like, we have like a long-term digital transformation strategies. The first is on improving the digital ecosystem in an entrepreneurship ecosystem in Indonesia. And then the second one is on how we can actually like have more equitable access to the internet itself. Yeah. And also the digital ecosystem. This the Ministry of Information, they have quite quick wins as well as the high impact programs on entrepreneurship growth. One is on the digital talents, scholarships, and also vocational school graduate academy. And then the second one is on digital innovation hub. So on the digital talent scholarships and vocational school graduate academy, helps the small medium enterprises adapt to digital businesses, such as models through structured digital trainings, AI, data, clouds, and cybersecurity. And also digital innovation hubs, we also try to develop other outside Jakarta and several cities, especially outside the Jakarta. So the last one, I just try to, I will invite my colleagues from the state-owned enterprises that also try to develop the entrepreneurship as well as the startup. So maybe,
we will have a
yeah, Mr. Jana, you can start with what actually you have in your state-owned enterprises.
Okay, thank you, Pak Maliki. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jonah. I'm from Bank Mandiri, the largest bank in Indonesia. So at Bank Mandiri, we understand that entrepreneurs don't grow in silos. They are in ecosystems. And so to truly empower Indonesia's entrepreneurs, we built a holistic and connected platform we call the Mandiri Entrepreneurship Ecosystem. This ecosystem is designed to support entrepreneurs at every stage of their journey, from early aspiration to enterprise growth, by offering more than just financing. Let's start at the early stage level through our CSR initiative called Wira Usaha Muda Mandiri, launched back in 2007. We have supported over 77,000 young entrepreneurs across Indonesia. This program blends business plan competition with direct capacity building, offering visibility, mentorship, and a platform to scale. For more mature startups, we introduced Zenith, a 4-month acceleration program led by Mandiri Capital Indonesia. Zenith focuses on real business integration, not just learning but doing. To bridge innovation with business unit inside our bank, we run Exponent, a structured matchmaking program connecting over 250 startups with 25 plus Mandiri Group units, and the goal is to create synergy where innovation meets institutional scale. On the MSME side, we have developed 137 Mandiri UKM centers throughout the country. These are not just credit desks, they are hubs of enablement. We cluster borrowers for tailored solutions, minimize risk through embedded off-takers, and integrate digital tools for onboarding and monitoring. And this is our approach at Bank Mandiri: scalable, measurable, and rooted in national development goals, yet globally relevant. Let me elaborate further on the Wira Usaha Muda Mandiri or Mandiri Young Entrepreneurs program. For us, this is not a one-off competition, and it's also not just a weekend boot camp. It is a nationwide movement to identify, inspire, and elevate youth-led business leaders. Each year, we run 2 tracks, one for business plans and another for existing ventures, because we believe both ideation and execution deserve the spotlight. And more importantly, Wira Usaha Muda Mandiri or Mandiri Young Entrepreneurs has become a pipeline of incredible role models who go on to inspire thousands more in their communities. Wira Usaha Muda Mandiri is not just about discovering talent, it's about embedding entrepreneurship into our culture, shifting mindset from job seeking to job creating. And we designed Wira Usaha Muda Mandiri around 4 strategic goals. First is to celebrate young entrepreneurs. Second is to build cross-generational knowledge exchange. The third is to produce visible success stories. And the last one is to align with Indonesia's national MSME strategy that Pak Maliki has said before, in partnership with the Ministry of Cooperative and SMEs. So to everyone here, entrepreneurship, policymakers and investors, let's make entrepreneurship not just a movement, but also a foundation for sustainable growth. Back to you, Pak Maliki. Thank you.
Thank you, Jana. So this is actually, we are looking forward for in the future for collaborations between the financing institutions, academicians, and as well as others entities, so then we can just like build startup more comprehensively. I think that's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Maliki, and also to the delegate from Mandiri Bank for this great intervention. Now let's move on to Cambodia, a smaller ecosystem, but I think with a lot of potential. So we look forward to learning from you, Meta. What is new in Cambodia startup ecosystem, and what are your plans for the future to make it reach all the potential it has?
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Still have a few minutes for noon. And thank you, Fasiliki, good friend right now, and for having me. And also very happy to be sitting, beside this Dr. Maliki in presenting his own ecosystem in startup and also entrepreneurship in Indonesia. I just go straight directly with the challenges. With what he have raised, I think we shared quite similar challenges in terms of business licensing. So in 2023, when I was also in Melbourne, joining the Startup Nation Ministerial, we highlighted also at that time Cambodia has to be working on regulation, on policy and regulation related to how we are going to register the startup as the entity, legal entity. We need a legal entity. We do have, of course, sub-regulation on digital startup, but it is not enough because it's related to the IP, to industrial patent, also to the funding. So we need a law, we need an act, like the other countries getting bigger and bigger right now. A lot of countries adopt law on startup. And for us, the same thing. This is the first challenge that we need to solve is to prepare the policy and regulation on tech startup directly. So you see in the middle, you see in the middle, it's about the policies framework. The score is quite low. So after 2023, I've been working a bit with the Ministry of Economic and Finance on we need a whole assessment before preparing the policy and regulation. So September last year, 2024, we've been talking a bit with the Dejo Startup Center, the one who running right now the Startup Cambodia program, to have the deep assessment on startup ecosystem in Cambodia. What would be the challenges? What would be the strengths? And what would be the next step we should consider? So the same thing, this is a report of last year and published this year. So the first thing is mainly on policy and regulation. So mainly on how we are going to recognize startup as a legal entity to be protected by law. The second part, based on this assessment, this report, it is related to innovation culture. So it has been years, it has been since 2014, we have been developing, we have been working with the university, we have been working also with the private sector, with GEN, with GEC at that time, how to promote startup and also the other association, how to bring the idea of creativity and innovation culture to young university students, and also to us to be working with the SME, to let them be working, to link them with our startup, our young university students. So, but based on the assessment, we got quite low, quite limited rate based on WIPO. So this is another challenges that we need to solve. It just means like we still need more work to do based on this result. And comparing this number with this one. This is the number coming from the Ministry of Education, reflecting about the innovation culture. I still remember in 2015 when we conducted the assessment and we prepared the ICT policy. We aimed at that time, it was 7% ICT students. 2015, it was 7%. So we aim for 15% by 2020. As a result, 2022, we got only 10%. So most likely our youth, our young Cambodians are more attracted to soft skill. I mean, not soft skill, but the major who let them getting fast job, easy subjects. So they don't want to be working on STEM. 2023, our Royal Government of Cambodia started to launch with the first angle of our 5-year strategy on how to promote STEM in our country. So, I mean, it's been years already we've been working on this, even policy, even a lot of stakeholders right now have been engaged, have been involved. A lot of line ministries right now also have been also joining to be working together on this matter. But the result, as a result, I mean, we still have limited resources. As Indonesia also has shared with us, the startup, what we miss, the more challenging for us is skill and human resources. So based on the number and the challenge we have highlighted, is truly that we need to work more on this. So 2023, we initiate a program under the leadership of the Ministry of Economy and Finance and also the Ministry of Industry, Science, Technology and Innovation on STEM promotion and entrepreneurship promotion. So we do a pilot project in Kanna province under His Excellency Cabinet Secretary, Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Economy and Finance. So we just finished in May this year, early May. We have presented the report to our Deputy Prime Minister on this. The result is still limited. So the students who choosing STEM, I haven't put in the slide. The students, high school students, secondary students, who are not really keen to choose STEM because of the mathematics, science, technology is very hard, to get or to pass the exam. So they rather choose social science. So the awareness campaign, is impacted to 70,000 students, including secondary students. So we need to start a bit earlier. Right now, we're going to roll out the 5-year plan to build, to develop awareness for high school and secondary school students. We are going to extend it. Siem Reap is the second largest city in Cambodia. So we are going to extend it to Siem Reap, to Kampong Thom, and also to the coastal provinces. Because we need, Cambodia is a very young population, but we still need, workforce. Orientating them in, not only in STEM, in qualified skill workforce, also in vocational training. In particular, what the government right now has been working so far on switching from labor intensive to low and middle skill labor. The third challenge, same as Indonesia, is about funding. So if we look at the result of these are the result of the startup by sector. Right now, a lot of people, here we bring, we are very happy to be working with GEC Cambodia and GEC also, our Young Entrepreneur Association of Cambodia. This year, we bring about 20 entrepreneurs, to joining us. In Melbourne, 2 years ago, we brought about 50 people to be in. So this is the we can share the successful story for us, that we are able to bring not only the government side to see what GECs look like, but also to bring private sector to see what are the technology right now trending in, being developed. So these are the technology who are right now running in Cambodia. So AI, we have about 20 startup only. More room, more opportunity that all of you or those who are interested in joining, in coming to Cambodia, we are happy. Or you guys join our delegates from Cambodia private sector here, or you can talk directly to my staff. So gender, I think we have the same issue also, like Vasiliki has highlighted about the gender diversity. So we may need more, women entrepreneurs, startup and also entrepreneur in linking technology and our SMEs. Second part is about the entrepreneurship and innovation. So I think entrepreneurship, it is the proof that our entrepreneurs are very keen to learn from the others, are keen to connect with the others, and also, are very keen to share also their challenges, their success story with the others. So these are the ecosystem of those who are involved and of those who are already been working. You see GEC, yes, it's them. So they are here, they are quite young, dynamic, energetic, and very keen to learn also from the others. So these are the ecosystem of the entrepreneurship and innovation in Cambodia. Currently, we are working on our ministry, MISTI. We are working on the strategy framework on SME, on how we are going to aim for moving our SME to be more productive by using technology and also by recruiting tech talents, more efficient, and also getting capable to get the access to finance and to market. Second one is about informal economy. I think everyone has the same challenges in SME and register SME. Thailand, Indonesia, Vietnam, a lot of SME have not been registered. So our government has already launched the informal economy policy 2023 and to help them to be registered and to help them also to get support and incentive from the government. So these are, I think that we still have more room to do, of course, in SME, but with bringing them here and then they're going back to share with the others, we do hope that we could solve also a few challenges, and the other, we may need to be more collaborative and better coordination to be more successful together. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Meta, for this great intervention. A very deep dive into Cambodia's challenges for the future when it comes to entrepreneurship and startups and what you're doing about it. I think you both really highlighted that we're talking about economies in a region that is extremely dynamic, with a lot of potential, very committed private sector going forward, but also very unique ecosystems that are each kind of trying in their own way to solve some of the big kind of problematics, regional development, how to solidify the partnership with the private sector, and how to really change and modernize what can be considered more traditional sectors. You also talked about digital skills, both of you, that are very important for the future, and also the culture. How do we bring people to this kind of like state where they can take a chance and be bold? That is the theme of the conference. So we're running a bit out of time. I wanted to see if anybody from the audience had any questions for our speakers. Maybe we can take one or two before we close. Is there anyone? Go ahead. One, and then there's another gentleman. You can introduce yourself.
Hi, John O'Neill from the University of Texas. I wanted to know, you didn't mention anything about marketing outside of Southeast Asia or the United States. Is that a priority for any of the startups in each of your countries?
That's great. Maybe we can take the second question so that we can wrap up more easily.
Sure. Hi, I'm Scott Fox. I run Startup Council. My question was simply about English. It's a very simple question. How much of the business is being done in English? And if we come and visit, how much can we communicate if we don't speak the local languages? We'd like to, but English is my best example.
That's it. Two very excellent questions. Can I add my own? So if you had maybe one lesson learned or one advice for a policymaker that might listen to this presentation afterwards, what would it be? The floor is yours. Maybe Dr. Maliki first.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, I'm answering your questions. I guess one of our long-term goals of the development of both entrepreneurships as well as the startup is on how we can actually improve and increase the market share, and as well as to expand the not only domestic but also the global markets. So this is one part of our long-term goal. So therefore, I guess it's not only like domestic markets, but on how we can also improve our global markets. For the second questions, I guess most of Indonesian graduates, they can speak English. If I can hear what you actually ask, I think that will be not a problem in most of the city in Indonesia. And then your last questions, what is the most lesson learned? I think as a government, what we see is that how actually the government can give more incentives to the startup by simplifying all these procedures on how they can get the license, on how they can get the financing, as well as the technology.
Thank you so much, Dr. Maliki. Meta, over to you.
I think, thank you. To the first question, I think maybe my team prepare you some question, right? No? No, right? So, I mean, I'm sorry, just kidding. 2022, Minister of Telecommunication from Cambodia led a delegation to come to visit Plug and Play in San Francisco. So it is kind of a roadshow, a visit development of partnership or market extension, attraction as well, to check and to see and to bring you, to invite you, warmly invite you, also to be coming to Cambodia to be working with us. US always, been inspiring place, that we can also be working together, and also our startup also wishes the same thing, to be working also with US or American company or American, angel investors or capital. We are freely or we are warmly inviting you to be working with us. Secondly, it's about the language. We've been going through very hard time. You may know Cambodia, right? Khmer Rouge, genocide. But since 1979, the royal government of Cambodia has done quite good job in encouraging our young population, in choosing the best way to learn and best way to catch up the opportunity that we don't want to miss. It is about English. 75% of our young Cambodians are under 35 years old. They are almost speaking English. I am an old generation, so I haven't had an opportunity to go to English school, just French school. If you want to speak French with me, I can speak in French, but English not that quite good. So if you want to be, our all private sector here, they all speak very good English, and you are also invited or warmly invited to be, connecting with them. We would love to have you also on board with us, if in case. Policymakers. Only one word. Between policymakers is a trusted dialogue. If you want to solve anything, put everything on the table, listen to each other, solve it.
Well, I think that's a great way to end this.
Yes. We need a trusted dialogue. We need a trusted partner that we can share and we can solve. We can listen to, we can solve.
Trusted
That's
dialogue,
what is a
just
trusted
solve
dialogue.
it. Yes. Make sure things are simple. I think these are excellent learnings for today.
Thank you.
I also take the call of both of you for collaboration. So do please try to talk to our speakers and explore if there's any opportunities for collaboration in the future. Also, one small shout out to fellow OECD colleague that has a presentation tomorrow at 1 about ecosystem metrics. So please join this if this is something about that is interest of you. Thank you so much to everyone, to our speakers, and to everyone for being here. Thank you.